Gorosei are the 5 elders, or a council of the 5 highest-ranking celestial dragons and the highest authorities of the world government. They essentially hold the greatest authority over the world at large as far as public knowledge is concerned, although they secretly subordinate to the government's shadow leader Imu, who occupies the empty throne. The 5 elders' political sway over the world government, its subsidiary organizations, agencies, and military branches is paramount and near illimitable, including holding absolute command over Cipher Pol, the Marines, and formerly the 7 warlords of the sea, thus controlling 2 of the 3 great powers. Despite being celestial dragons, none of the 5 elders wore the full-body white suit that their lower-ranking brethren wear. Also, none of them have been seen wearing the bubble or glass case over their heads to separate their air supply from other people, even when seen outside of Mary Joie's. Each of the 5 elders is in charge of a particular area of politics and hold the title warrior god akin to a minister. These positions are as follows. 1. Saint Jaygarcia Saturn holds the title warrior god of science and defense and is one of the 5 elders who publicly head the world government and a scientist by trade. Due to his actions and role, he is the main antagonist of the Egghead Arc, and along with the other elders, he is one of the overarching antagonists of the entire One Piece series, especially in its Final Saga. Much like his fellow world nobles, Saturn has a low opinion of human lives and the captive Cipher Pol agents by extension, comparing them to insects that will merely reproduce regardless of the casualties in the worst-case scenario. This was shown again while in his awakened form, where he referred to the various vice admirals concerned for his safety as insects that needed to pipe down. He also called them fools for attempting to seize Vegapunk instead of focusing their weapons on Bonney's head. Saturn is not above racism either, as shown with his very first encounter with a young Bartholomew Kuma, telling the boy he deemed the entire Buccaneers race to be condemnable solely for an unrevealed crime they committed in the past. Above all else, Saturn is an absolutely diabolical individual with no qualms about experimenting on those beneath him. He is known to have tortured or experimented on at least 8 individuals, with most of them contracting Sapphire Scales as a result. Upon learning that Kuma and Vegapunk were discussing a way to cure the former's daughter, who inherited her mother's condition after being experimented on, Saturn decided to use this as a means to turn Kuma into a weapon for the government, forcing the man to agree to have his free will stripped away while also being modified to become a cyborg. Even after Kuma agreed to these terms, Saturn decided to place his daughter under government surveillance with a threat that if Kuma were to ever contact his daughter or flee, he would make the girl a slave. Furthermore, after these demands were set in place and Kuma was about to undergo the procedure to lose his free will, Saturn additionally demanded Vegapunk implant a self-destruct switch into Kuma, justifying it as a means to stop him on the slim chance he rebels against the government, showcasing further unrelenting cruelty. 2. Saint Marcus Mars holds the title of warrior god of environment and is one of the 5 elders who publicly head the world government. During the O'Hara incident, he was courteous to Clover, acknowledging the scholar's achievements and justifying the danger of reviving the ancient weapons. At the time of ordering the killing of scholars, Mars was seriously embarrassed when he gave that order. He appears to view the Nefertari family's rejection of life on Mary Joie's harshly, as he stated that such an action makes them traitors. 3. Saint Topman Warkari is one of the 5 elders who publicly head the world government, holding the title of warrior god of justice. He appears to be patient, as he was content to observe Shank's potentially threatening actions and not rush to intervene. However, he cursed Crocodile and Luffy for threatening the balance when the latter removed the former from the 7 warlords of the sea, saying that Luffy could not be forgiven. He appears to take positions of authority seriously, as he disapproved of Admiral Aokiji going off on his own without telling anyone. Like the other elders, he has little tolerance for people of lower rank challenging their authority, as shown during the Elders' meeting with Marine Fleet Admiral Sakazuki. Instead of threatening or making hostile moves towards the Fleet Admiral, but Warkari was especially abrasive toward Sakazuki, reminding him of his place and failures by mentioning how Aokiji had joined forces with Blackbeard. He takes rebellion very seriously and said the annihilation of the Lulusha kingdom could serve as an example to other unsettled governments. 4. Saint Ethanbaron Venus Juro is one of the 5 elders who publicly head the world government, holding the title Warrior God of Finance. He exercises meticulousness in perpetuating this balance, as he viewed the loss of even a single warlord as important, and grew extremely concerned at the loss of 3 warlords during the Summit War of Marineford. He was the first person to recognize that the current balance may not be sustainable after everything that has transpired since the Summit War of Marineford, suggesting a cleansing was in order. Nujiro attributes the will of D to danger, and expressed discomfort that said name came to the knowledge of many. Nujiro seems to have some familiarity with Zunisha, Zo, and Wano country. He knew that the elephant's departure from the latter was a confirmation that Wano's borders had not been opened. 5. Saint Shepherd Jew Peter is one of the 5 elders, the public heads of the world government, and holds the title Warrior God of Agriculture. Jew Peter was the one who frantically gave the order to kill Professor Clover of Ohara, doing so to prevent the latter from uttering the great kingdom's name. Like his fellow elders, Jew Peter is knowledgeable regarding the true nature of the Hito Hito no Mi model, Nika, and takes said devil fruit's threat quite seriously. When Warkari made note of its legendary status, Jew Peter responded by questioning why the government made the effort of renaming a devil fruit. Each name of the Gorosei pertains to names of the planets in the solar system, namely Saturn, Mars, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. All 5 elders care about the world's balance upheld by the 3 great powers and wishes to protect it, expressly seeking to prevent the chaos that would arise from its breakdown. Aside from that, they also wish to preserve the image of the world government by keeping the events of the Void Century a secret at all costs, and all elders will immediately have anyone destroyed who is found to be studying the long-lost history of it.